Okay, I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills public hearing and special meeting of electors to order on this Tuesday, November 10th, 2015 at 7:30 here at the Town Hall. The first item on the agenda is to call the public hearing to order, call a public hearing on the 2016 proposed budget. Okay, I did that.
Good job.
The second is to open the floor for public discussion on the proposed 2016 budget.
There's a handout of that too there, but I've got it here as well.
So at any time, if anyone in the audience wants to make a comment as we look this over, they may.
So I have have some good news and some bad news. Thank you. This is the notice that we sent out that reflects what we did at our, you got that in packet, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It reflects what we did at our
Feedback on it, okay.
budget workshop with a couple of minor changes, or I have a couple of minor changes. One is I did receive the actual bill from the Lake Mills Ambulance Service. So public safety is coming down just a teensy bit. And the occupancy bonds, the last item in expenditures, we got 2 more this month and we paid 1 out, so that one needs to be adjusted just a teensy bit. But the major thing is, now back in April, we met with the electors, we did the voting to borrow money to fix London Road. And somewhere between then and now, as we were trying to figure out how that gets reflected in our tax bills, somebody started calling it a special charge, and we'd get special assessment requests, and there were some questions about what about that terminology, and we all sort of got confused about what exactly is it that we are doing. I mean, we know what we're doing, but what is it called in the eyes of the Department of Revenue? And then what is the procedure that we need to have in place so that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, right? So I called directly to the Department of Revenue, Valia Foy. She is, I think she's pretty much the Carol Duran now. She's the one who did that presentation on the tax levy worksheet when we went to that training session a couple years ago. And I talked the whole thing through with her. I told her exactly what we're doing, and I said, tell me how we're doing this or what it is. So no longer refer to this as a special charge or a special assessment. That's not what we're doing. We're simply repaying the debt. We're doing debt service by exceeding the levy limit. Now, we do not have to do any resolution or anything else, because this is one of those items that is exempt from all of those things. It's on it's on that list of things that you showed me the other day.
Yeah.
It's exempt from all of that. So all we do is include it on our tax levy limit worksheet, and it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment to our levy limit. That's what it is.
Okay.
Now, the kicker is,
Oh.
she has dealt with these through the state trust fund loans before. She's seen these, and she knew that our first payment is not due until 2017. And she said, if you do not have a scheduled payment due in 2016, you cannot put it on your levy limit worksheet this year. We have to wait until next year.
Is there a prepayment penalty, but it has to be scheduled?
No, it's all about
I asked her, I said, well, we have plenty of time, but we were hoping to we would like to pay some of it down next year. And she said, doesn't matter. If it's not on the amortization schedule, you got to wait it out.
Okay.
So that means that this $150,000 that I've got on our notice comes off.
Okay. And then we go to next year. And then are we going to go back to the electorate in April and ask them to give us more money,
You mean
the difference? between $300,000 and $434,000.
I don't know how you guys wanted to handle that.
All right,
That
That's
was.
what we should do that, yeah.
Probably, or we set aside some of the highway budget to take care of that.
we could do that. That's gonna come around to bite us, isn't it? If we take,
Yeah.
all right. It's not your dream world, David, but
No,
that's the way it is.
Well, I mean, it's okay for the here and now, but it doesn't do anything
Just,
for
it's gonna push off,
a
Yeah,
whole year.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just too bad you can't go ahead and do the debt service and put it in the bank and then make the payment in 2017.
I know.
Okay,
It is what it is.
it
Laws
is what
are
it
laws.
is, yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to go over on the budget?
Well, so that was our,
That changes everything.
no, well, yeah, yes and no. So that changes what we publish in the newspaper. But then what you've got on the screen here in front of you,
Okay,
on this page, you've got that
Yep,
somewhere?
yep.
Okay. Is,
coming back.
without the 150 in it. So you'll see that our budget looks a whole lot like last year's, really.
Sure.
Yeah, our revenues are just a little bit less than last year. Our expenses are also, I believe, just a little bit less than last year, very, very close. This number here is gonna change a little bit, that occupancy bond that I was telling you, that I was talking about, just to make it real, true. The other thing I wanna ask about, and I don't know if that's for this session or if it's for the board meeting itself, but I also asked her about the garbage charges since.
Yes.
Since our garbage fee right now is $180. And up until this year, that covered us pretty much. And now this year it doesn't. And I said, is there any kind of rule as far as how you increase that? Do we just do it, it's $181.08 or something like that this time? I've actually got that right here, think about it. I didn't print it out, but, she said, as long as you're reasonable, there really isn't, we went through the whole scenario of how do we pay for garbage? And because we do it as a special charge on the units, on the households that have the garbage units,
Yeah.
we're not using our tax levy to pay for it. Therefore, we're exempt from all of those rules that changed a couple years ago. So she said, there's nothing that says you can't just do 185 and then, so you don't adjust it every year.
Right, yeah, and I think we've done that
But you
before.
can't do 360, you
Right,
can't
yeah.
double it, you just have to be reasonable.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that makes sense.
all right, so.
So that's something that is not reflected, if you wanna go to $181, that's not reflected in this budget. I would assume we wanna do at least $181.
I think we
I would
should
think
go
so,
to
because-
185 and,
Yeah, that's right.
because we're gonna get an increase every year.
Every year.
Well, and that's something too, the way that they word it in their letter each year is, we request an increase of blah, 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 and I'm thinking, well, what if we say no? What if we deny your request? Everybody's requesting an increase every year,
Yeah.
they just get to get away with it, but, anyway, so. And then I also updated the graphs that Dave likes, so.
It's like wrapping paper.
I went back to
Cool.
this one from, this is the same one that we looked at a year ago when we first started talking about how to pay for the roads. Just to show people of the tax, you get your tax bill in December, and of that money that you send to us, this is where it goes. Most of it, almost 60% of it goes to the Lake Mills School District, if you live in the Lake Mills School District. I didn't do it for Cambridge's, but a little 7% stays here to be used to pay for everything we can squeeze out of it. And that this year, that piece of it equals $367,555, which wouldn't even have paid for London Road, much less anything else.
Right.
So there's that. And then the other one that I did, I updated what we are proposing spending that money on, all
Good
of our
girl.
money on. So you can see this big chunk of it here is public safety, fire protection, EMS, police, that sort of thing. That's almost 32% of our expenditures. 47% over here, public works, street lights, sanitation, snow removal, highway. It's kind of sad that our highway is less than our sanitation, but so it is. And then up here, the rest is, here we've got a big chunk we're starting to stock away for a new squad car that we're gonna need. Everything else.
Some of the reason I think, Sarah, is our highway budget, is less than what the sanitation is every time everybody continues to ask for more money, we only have one place to take it from, and that's the highway budget.
Yep.
So I think that's why it keeps getting carved and carved and carved.
Yeah.
Doesn't the state of Wisconsin do that too?
Well, this is very nice. Thank
So-
It is, it really I like that.
Okay.
You know where everything's going.
Okay, so,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's the sanitation expenses?
That is garbage, recycling, yard waste pickup.
Oh,
There's a clean sweep in Jefferson County that we donate to, because we all get to use it. Mhm.
we'll be writing a check this month for what, almost $13,000, which we do every month to John's for the garbage service that they provide.
Yep.
So what does the town do for you? It protects you in an emergency. It plows your roads, it picks up your garbage, and it pays for us to sit here and make these decisions for you. It's very well illustrated, though. I mean, it really does show, and so does the other graph, show what our tax dollars in the town go to support.
I wish we could take that big blue chunk and just give it to the town because we homeschool.
Oh, so you get no break, do ya?
Yeah.
So, I understand this right, so the 7% on this graph compromises what, is comprised of all the expenses here.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, no, actually, no. It's the majority, that 7% represents the majority of our revenue. There are other things that we get revenue from, yes. But that is, if you look at this sheet, that's the first line up there.
50% of it.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I would motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of closing the hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Now, I'd like to call the special meeting of the electors to order. Second item on the agenda is the discussion to approve the total year 2016 highway expenditures pursuant to section 81.01-3 of the Wisconsin statutes. Now, the total highway expenditures.
That is on the fourth page? Yep, back of the budget page. And I should clarify there too, that the question you just asked about that chunk, sanitation gets paid for by your $180 on your tax bill, and that is a separate fee. So, there is a separate line item on here. So it's this one and also on the back, that one.
So the number that we're looking at here
Sorry.
is $191,000, correct?
Uh-huh.
$72,000 for highway maintenance and $80,000 for snow
The
removal.
39 for highway construction. Right.
Oh, yeah, okay. So,
Yep.
does anybody have any questions or comments about that? It's not gonna snow, it's not gonna snow.
Keep saying a mild winter.
It's nice to hear.
The warmer the air, the more moisture it will hold.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, would there be a motion to approve the total year budget of $191,000?
I will make that motion.
And I will second it. Is there any discussion?
Do you wanna, they can vote, do you wanna mention that?
Yes, this is not just a board decision, this is a
Electors.
elector's decision. So you're so fortunate to be here to help us.
And you get
make
to
that
vote and
decision.
everything.
So what we're doing is voting to approve the expenditure of $191,000 for highway expenses in the year 2016. So, anybody have any more questions?
What happens if there's a bad snow year, you need more money?
Well,
Then-
actually, this reflects the worst snow years we've had in the last few years. The budget used to be at 60,000 and we kept exceeding it, so we bumped it up. And last year, we actually didn't spend that much,
Right.
but
Then we just apply that to other highway projects. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to stay within that $191,000
Yeah.
limit. And however we work that, depending on where we come in, is what we have left to spend in the spring on highway projects, or can be applied, like we talked about before, to the debt that we have from London Road.
Yeah. What's the highway construction money for?
I
Re-
wondered that too. Why is it separated like that? Highway construction and highway maintenance, does it have to be broken out like that? Is that what you mean, or?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's something specific that's being funded through that.
It's all one big highway
It's,
budget, right?
yeah, not really. There's really basically most of what we do is highway maintenance.
Mhm.
So, and why it's that way, I have no idea. It's just the way it's always been. But we use, as a whole, so.
And this highway budget is one of those things that we keep our finger on all the time, because we cannot exceed the $191,000, and we're always looking for,
We
We-
can exceed, not to correct it, we can exceed it, but we have to then call a special electors
We have to
meeting.
go back to the
get
electors.
the electors to approve us to overspend.
and the way we look at it is the first part of the year gets, we get through the snowy part of the season, and then we look real hard at the projects that we have after we've reviewed our roads and decide where we're gonna spend the rest of the cash that we have. Sometimes we're spending that, and we will this year be spending that right up until the end of December, just trying to figure out, something inevitably always comes up that we weren't prepared for in highway
Like
maintenance,
your trees that fell the other day, yeah.
those kind of things.
They're gone now.
Dave, you got out there already today?
Oh, so that was your
North
call,
Shore,
yeah.
Yeah.
It still needs a little more work there. Do you live right across the road from there?
We live up on the hill behind the pine trees.
Okay. I didn't have time, but it needs a little more help. Because there's one hanging there and the tree is dead, so I was gonna talk to you about that later.
All right, we have a
Sure, you
motion
bet.
on the floor, and we are asking for a voice vote from all of the electors present. We're motioning to approve the $191,000 of the 2016 highway expenditure budget. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Item 3, discussion to adopt the 2015 town tax levy to be paid in 2015 pursuant to section 60.10-1A of the Wisconsin statutes. Now, guide us through that, Sarah.
That's just a calculation by the state. It's set, it's capped. We took max. There's really nothing, there's no wiggle room. It's $367,555 this year.
All right. I would make a motion to adopt the tax levy of,
$367,555.
that's the 2015 tax levy. Is there a second?
You guys can make seconds? No. I'll second it.
Okay, now, is there any discussion on this? Not much discussion
Not
on
much
the tax
discuss.
levy. All right, all in favor of approving the town's tax levy, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Item number 4 is a motion to adjourn. I will make. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? No? All right, we'll adjourn the special public hearing and the special meeting of electors and resume our regular town board meeting at 8 PM. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills to order. It is November 10th, 2015 at 8 PM at the town hall. The notice was published in the Lake Mills Leader on November 4th, 2015 and posted at the town hall, the North End Boat Launch, and the cul-de-sac on Finch Brothers Road, and also on the town's website. Item 2, the adoption of the agenda. I would motion to adopt the agenda as published.
Second?
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye. Aye. And all opposed, the same sign. The agenda is passed. Item 3, approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve October 13th minutes.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion or questions?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from the October 13th, 2015 meeting, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Also in your packet are the minutes of the special town meeting on October 20th, 2015. I would motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I would say thank you to you, Sarah, very much for doing such a nice job on the minutes.
Yeah.
And if anyone in the audience needs to have copies of the minutes, we could supply those, or you can continue to pick those up off of the town's website as we go along. Motion on the floor, right? To approve the minutes of the special meeting of October 20th. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried and the minutes are passed. Item 4, the approval of the treasurer's report. I would motion to approve the treasurer's report for November 2015.
Second?
Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the treasurer's report, please say aye.
Aye.
And all
Aye.
opposed, the same sign. Treasurer's report is accepted. Item number 5, approval of the general funding vouching.
I'll make a motion to, wait a minute, receivable, sorry, to approve November's disbursements of $535,325.78.
And I will second that. Is there any discussion or any questions on the disbursements? I want you to write it down, Sarah, that Dave has no questions.
I don't. The only thing is, Lee, when you vote to approve this, then you're a party to the whole crime.
I was waiting for you to make the motion.
All in favor of approving the disbursements for November 10th, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. The vouching is carried. Item 6, reports. A, the police report. Matt?
We had 70.25 hours of road patrol. The officers ran 21.25 hours of stationary radar. They handled 10 complaints in the month of October. We had 2 hours for court. Investigated 1 accident, issued 50 citations, 1 repair notice, 14 warnings. We assisted a motorist, and we assisted other departments with 3 other complaints, and we made 4 arrests on warrants. The boat in PWC winterized on Friday. The boat's back at Tuffy getting its repairs done. Reference to little scratches and dings. They're not done with it yet. The PWC is put away in storage currently.
Okay, Matt. Anything else? Any questions?
The battery thing,
Yeah,
that's gonna be, you're gonna pull it out this year?
probably pull it out and we'll find a place to
Put it in a storage
like
room
a
or
closet
something?
or something. in
Yeah,
there,
put it on a block of wood, so.
Wood or something, and it'll rug down on it underneath it
Yeah,
in case something happens to it. So we have it in trickle charge so we don't ruin a battery again.
sure.
Yep.
Scott was explaining to me that he likes to have the battery in the boat on the charger in the early spring when crazy people come out and try to float a boat,
Right,
so
we can bring it out.
put it back in April.
Yeah.
It's just a little chore.
I said we could probably hang on until then. All right, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
B, the Joint Rock Lake Committee report. I did not attend their meeting, but I know they want to work on updating some of the lake ordinances over the course of the winter, so we'll be hearing a little more from them as they go along. Item C, the Planning Commission report. Lee?
We did not meet last Tuesday. There's nothing on the agenda. So, meeting coming up on December 1st.
All right. Item D, any other committee reports?
Nope.
Item 7, period of public comment and questions on anything that is not on the agenda for discussion only. This is your time, people. If you have anything you'd like to bring before the town board, please come to the podium.
Have this in correspondence, but it could go here since she's here.
Well, why don't we do that? Dorothy, would you like to make some comments on the letter that you sent us at this time? Or we will read this at the end of our meeting as correspondence. We can wait then.
I think that's fine. I just wanted to make sure it was submitted.
All right. So if nobody else has any other comments, we'll move on to item 8, the review of applications filed. Item A is the discussion and decision on an operator's license for Selena M. Halada, Lake Mills Travel Plaza. You guys have the paperwork in front of you. Matt, did you do any investigation on this?
I did, Sergeant Kevin Miller did the background check on this one here and left me a note here. Not sure how to address this. We do have some violations in the past with this person, but they were when they were a juvenile, so I don't think I can release any of that information. I don't know if it's something the town board I can discuss with them after the meeting or not. But as an adult, there is nothing there, but I do have some concerns with the stuff that is fairly recent when that person was a juvenile. That's not noted on this application.
Okay,
She's only, what?
She's 18.
I was just
right?
trying to
Right.
calculate.
Hmm.
What is the license for?
It's an operator's license to serve alcohol or to sell alcohol, and this one happens to be, and each one of those people applies individually for this operator's license. This one is at the Lake Mills Travel Plaza on Highway 89. Okay, what's your opinion, you guys?
I think we need to table it for now until we hear what Matt has to say.
All right. So there's a motion to table this operator's license. We'll table it until our December meeting.
December, yeah.
And I would make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, same sign. We'll table that until we get to December. Item 9, old business. A is a discussion and decision on hiring an appraiser.
It's an assessor, right? I kept using the wrong word.
Why did you say appraiser? Assessor. And you guys are here. Would you want to come to the microphone and address us?
I got to Gardner Lake, so
You can do it, you can do it individually, one at a time.
I got to Gardner Lake, so she's available on the phone. If you have any questions for her.
Introduce yourself to us and then we'll go from there.
My name's Dave Tenius. That's Steve Malik. We are Equity Appraisal, and we submitted a bid for the assessment services.
This one?
You want some background on us?
Yeah, tell us what other townships that you're working for.
We work for 25 municipalities. We do, our bigger ones are like the Village of DeForest. We do small ones over in Crawford County. We do some towns with lake property, town of Merrimack, town of LaGrange, down in Walworth County, which is some valuable stuff. We do a lot of stuff in Dane County, town of Roxbury, Mazel, town of Windsor, and we have quite a few accounts in Iowa County and over in Crawford County. And elsewhere, Lafayette County. So it's 25 in total. It's just the two of us, we're a two-man show, 50-50 partners, no employees. So we do everything.
You guys have any questions?
And we've been in business since '01. We both have experience. Previous to that, got into business in about 1987 with a bigger company, and Steve's been doing it about since then too with a couple different companies. So we each got at least 25 years experience in this.
Do you have any other towns in the county?
Not this
Jefferson
county, no, we do not. So.
We gotta have an assessor.
Everybody needs one.
Right.
As you know, our assessor is retired, and
Right, we know Ron well.
I guess we really don't, have a process for this in our township.
Right.
Do you know how the process compares to how Ron did things? Do you
It
know
would be
if-
very similar. I worked with Ron for 10 years at a previous company. Then he struck out on his own, and then Steve and I struck out on our own, so we do things very similar. We're
Yep.
both on, Breeze on Market Drive, we're also on Market Drive, computer software system. And so that makes it an easy transition as far as all the computer work goes. We would do, it would be the same process for maintenance. We would have you done in the 30-day window, statutory window, so we wouldn't be doing board reviews in October and November. Unless it was a revale, that's a different story.
Right.
I don't think you need a revale.
We just completed that.
You just did it, so you're good with that, so it would just be a typical maintenance.
Normally what we do is we do the drive-by on the 5-year and the reval on the 0-year.
Okay,
So,
so you kind of have a plan,
yeah.
that's good.
Anybody else have any other questions of these guys?
Do you have anything to add, Steve?
I don't.
Okay. It was kind of a quick.
Our main thing is we know Ron, and I know he uses the same software as we do, and I'm the one who enters the data and works with the system, so it should be
A smooth
An
transition?
easy transition.
the computer files for it. It should be on Market Drive, and we've known Ron for a while.
And you have prepared a contract for us here. I see that it is stated the 1st of January.
And all the new IRS rules and all that stuff, you guys are able to keep up with all that stuff and you're making that transition into their new request. Ron always tells
the DOR?
Yeah.
Not the DOR request?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything, well, Ron should have got you all computerized with sketches and pictures and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, we keep up with all the, everything it seems like every year they're requiring more.
Right.
And, yeah, we do, we'll be right with that.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
All our reports get filed on schedule, like required by law by the DOR.
Right, okay.
Yeah, no, we keep up to date on that.
Did you hear what the girls had to say? They're whispering in my ear.
Oh.
Sorry. I just was noticing that Sharon noticed that the contract begins on January 1st, and Ron is already done, so we have,
Well, okay, yeah, we
we
weren't
have
sure
the home
about that.
stuff, and we have parcel splits, she said, with the county that
We could, immediately, if that's what you're wondering, we could
We're just gonna
immediately
start.
go.
I mean, yeah, if you
Start
have work,
for prorate or
Yeah,
whatever.
because they want the parcel splits done before the tax bills.
right.
Sure, yeah, whatever needs to be done, we could separate it.
That's the same with personal property goes out, we would prepare all that. I mean, whatever needs to be done for January 1st to go, we're good to go. As long as, did Ron gave you the disc or a file for Market Drive? I take it, electronic file?
He did not give us anything, but he's.
He's not so far away.
No.
No, I'm sure he has it.
Call and I,
Sure. Because as long as we have that file, we can, whatever, he has everything on, and we can start doing splits and whatever for tax time. there's sales we have to verify this year anyway for next year, and we understood, we just put January 1st because that's the assessment date when the year always starts. It's hard to write a contract for 2 months or something, so we're gonna do what we have to do to start on January 1st, whatever happens to be done this year.
You guys ready to make a decision tonight? I think you're going to be forced to make a decision.
Right, yeah,
tonight.
yeah. The other question I'd say would be, the length of contract. We don't want to have to do this every single year.
Okay.
What did we give you, a 2? Usually we do a 2 or a 3, but we can do whatever you want.
We didn't know what you wanted,
Yeah,
so
we
we're
tried,
just
yeah.
gave you 2.
Yeah.
Do
We
usually
have something that you can extend it out, just by, I think, in there that.
We're gonna drop you a new one in the
Or
mail
agreement
tomorrow
or whatever.
Well, we've always had a good working relationship with Ron.
Oh, yeah, he's been
He
great.
always complains to us, that's what Dave was referring to, he's always complaining to us about the Department of Revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
It's really gotten worse over the last few years, that's sure, and that's one reason I think he hung it up, he was tired of it.
He was tired.
Oh, yeah.
Steve and I gotta work a few more years yet.
Can't hang it up.
That worked. Be nice, I'd like to sit in a tree and hunt too.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
What the miscellaneous expenses, what are some examples?
The main one would be postage.
Mailing
We send out our
notices.
notices and our personal property, so stamps.
If we were doing a revale, it might be
Yeah.
maps or something from the county, but in general, it's mostly just postage.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that might be, because if you have a egg land and stuff, every year we have to generate notices for all the different parcels that have egg, because they keep changing the rate by $10 here and $5 there, so we might send out a couple hundred notices for $100 changes, but by law we have to, so there might be postage for, you know, $80 to $200 or whatever it might be. I don't know how many you generate, but probably a couple hundred notices. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, the expenses as far as driving around, doing our work and everything is all ours.
Yeah.
Computer fees too, or software?
Yep, we take.
The computers, we just build that right into our contract. It costs us, we have to pay our software provider, but we just absorb that as the contract's the contract
All
and
right,
make it real easy for everybody.
good question, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right,
What's your thought?
I saw you nod your head, so make a motion.
There you go, there you go.
What'd you say? I missed it.
Nothing.
No, I just got a whitewater grad.
He went to the same school. There you go. It's like,
You went to what?
Yeah.
High school?
No, college.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Whitewater.
Well, so you're not a stranger to Jefferson County.
Oh, no, yeah, this is almost my stopping grounds, not far.
All right. Your pleasure, gentlemen. I'm not carrying the whole ball. I would make a motion to accept the contract extended by Equity Appraisals to be our assessor. The term of the contract is 2016-17, with the understanding that they will bring us into 2016. Is there a second?
I'll second.
for $11,000 per year.
Is that your second?
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Looks like you're going to have a long and wonderful relationship with all. We do have a really nice website. Sarah keeps us up to snuff, so if you really want to know what we're doing in the town of Lake Mills, you can visit our website. And
Okay, yeah, that'd be good.
most of our meetings are taped, and so those things are available
Okay.
too. So that you can
So
do that.
you're the treasurer, right?
Yes.
I would assume, okay.
Yeah.
And
Why don't
clerk.
we introduce
I know,
ourselves?
I talked to Sarah on the phone.
This is Sarah.
So Dave and Steve.
And I'm Sharon.
Sharon. And
Sarah,
Sarah.
and I'm Hope,
Dave.
Lee.
and
Okay.
our fabulous
We'll-
police chief.
We'll probably never remember all of them, but we'll get,
Eventually.
eventually we'll figure it
For
out.
review, we'll get to know each other a little
Yeah.
better.
Always circle.
Yeah.
I can shoot Ron an email
Yeah,
again
you-
tonight.
You can send us the file.
He's already asked me, and then do you want to just work with him directly and give
That would be,
information?
that would be
He
fine.
emailed to me, Ron will call us.
Okay.
Sure. Is there anything else called then, right now?
No, I can get everything rolling as soon as I have the file, we can get everything set for personal property and sales and all that stuff.
We,
Yeah, all the homework you have to
Okay.
do.
We'll look at.
okay, are they on are they, parking fees, or, okay,
Ron probably has it in the
Yep,
computer.
yep.
So,
all right.
He generates all of that.
once he sends us the file, I can look at it, and we'll just move right on to taking care of it.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Look forward to a nice relationship.
We'll talk.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank
Thanks. Item B, Fall Road Tour Report, discussion and decision on brushing. We decided this year not to do a formal fall road tour because we were kind of out of money. I know I kind of asked you guys to go around, do your thing. I know you did, Lee. Do you have some major things that need consideration?
The only thing I was gonna mention is, anybody complain about lower branches or anything like that, like the
Yes.
school buses, on
Oh, sure.
Shorewood?
I
Yeah.
had one person on London Road give me a specific stretch, but we had talked about doing London Road, right? And the only other one was the one that you took care of today, so. What Jason though didn't he mention something when
He
he
did
was
about
here
the
for-
height of his plows and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your address on London Road?
9421.
All right.
Just west of us is a stretch of wooded area on the south side of the road.
We know.
Branches of some trees now reach.
We know all about
Yeah,
it.
we know, I know this.
I'm laughing because we never seem to kind of get our act together on London Road. It's never easy, is it? I had a complaint today about Highland Road. Came from a city employee. Seems that there's a big patch of mud up there that's created by the garbage truck. Maybe we should, and I was confused. I shouldn't even say what I said out loud. That the city is doing the plowing on Highland Road, and
Oh, right, yeah, they do, yeah. have
so we
agreement
should
with
probably
this.
dump some gravel in there.
Yeah.
Do you see any signs that were amiss? I know there's one out on Stony Road. Stony Creek.
Stony Creek, no.
We're
Wait,
pretty,
still, is that weight limit, or the speed limit and weight limit sign, did the county ever put that back up on?
cemetery?
Cemetery?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we batched all those together and got that done. You have more fire numbers to put up,
Two are on.
and they're ordered? Okay,
And they're gonna send you a bunch of posts. He said it costs them more to ship one at a time, so he's sending you 6.
posts.
Yeah. So we'll have to store them in the closet or something. And pull them out as we need them. We need 2 right now, so it's just 4.
Okay. Here, I'm going to buy these fence posts. Am I supposed to, are these the same kind of fence posts?
No, they're not.
I doubt it.
No, they're different.
Oh, okay, you would know when we replaced all those fire signs. All right, so if there isn't anything that really needs specific attention right now, I guess I'd like to look at how much money we got left.
Here you go.
And now,
Take one and pass it down.
oh, I thought this was something I hadn't read yet, jeez.
Can I just request that like you would look at the whole North Shore Road? Just, because I haven't really looked that close, but I know there's a lot of.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, some of the bigger trees that are really, hanging out, they stretch for sunlight. But I did notice when I went through there today, there's a lot of small underbrush. It doesn't appear to be near as bad right now because the leaves are off, but it definitely needs some
attention.
Do you remember one on Shorewood Hills Road a couple months ago? That maybe you took a look at it. Do you remember that one? It's got stones around it on the base.
Yeah, I looked at it and
You did,
I
okay.
told Hope about it,
Oh, okay.
and really
I never heard anything
it's
more.
kind of it's really out of the right of
I
way.
wondered, yeah.
But it's also in their landscaping. It's just right, I think it's a house or two before Woodfield Lane on the north end of Sherwood Hills Road.
Yeah,
No address?
I could find it.
All right.
It's a dead elm, that's what it is.
Oh, and
Yeah.
there's a couple of dead trees
There's
there
a couple that are,
at John Lobs' property too, he showed me.
there's a couple at the corner of Bridle and Shorewood too that look, they're actually in somebody's yard. I don't know if they're in the right of way or not, but they're starting to look.
Yeah, okay. Well, if we got any money left over and we're gonna bring in a brushing crew, might as well have the whole list put together. So it looks
Is
like
that
we
what you
got,
told me was mostly all small
11,
stuff?
8
Small
left?
stuff, yeah, I mean, I thought,
No,
I
that
had
is what we
Sunset
have
Court
at
had a bunch of
count.
little potholes.
This is what we have.
Really?
Yeah, kinda like, but not that
If you
deep.
take away the London
Oh.
Road, yeah,
And then,
I mean, it's in there as an expense, but it's
hang
also
that.
in there as a loan, so it's just,
That's
it
about it, that was probably the most
wiped it out,
so,
know what I mean?
Just all little small little holes up and down there.
well, I see that, but, so we literally have left remaining balance
Mhm.
$102,000?
Yeah.
Well, we might as well have a party.
Yeah, no.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of expense here with the
Well,
snow fence.
Right,
Well, there's snow
Yeah.
too.
in the snow.
yeah,
It doesn't
But-
have anything, it doesn't have anything reserved. So we don't have reserve for what we may end up owing Wolf, or snow fence, or salt, or brushing, none of that.
Snow removal.
that
Right or
seems
no?
like, yeah, right, yeah. But it seems like an awful lot, because
Well, that's in
when
there.
we did the
Oh, is it?
highway, when
Okay.
we did the bidding, didn't we have like $28,000 left to spend?
No. We had a lot.
Do you have December, or the November disbursements subtracted out of there?
Yes.
The 21,000 for the crack filling and everything,
Yeah.
huh?
I was looking at that too, because I was also surprised.
I think Sarah's got a tree where money is growing on it.
That'd be cool.
Okay, so. I-
We
Get
did
her
a lot of
secret.
road work too this year.
But you didn't. Here's the sheet. You had a lot on the list, but not a lot got any bids. So we did some brushing as a bid, and that's
Mhm.
marked with an X on your sheet here.
Mhm,
We did the crack filling.
mhm,
We had no bids for gravel and grade.
mhm,
We did chip sealing, and we only did part of it.
mhm.
We did the wedge, the culvert.
Yep,
We had nothing for saw cut and patch, nothing for ditch, nothing for repainting lines, and then we did the major project that we got a loan for.
right. And the 21,000 came off of there for the crack filling.
Yep.
Yep, all right.
So
Well.
when I was looking back at this, then I thought, well, must have just stopped there because we
Well, we
took
didn't
that
have any bids.
huge hit,
Yep.
and we were only approved for 300 of
Yep.
it.
Okay. Well, I think it's only prudent that we then go ahead and do that brushing on London Road. I mean, we were
Yep.
kind of waiting for the leaves to come off the trees anyway, so you can see the forest from the trees. I think we should fill that pothole with gravel on Highland Road. We definitely will get those signs up and the fire signs as they come. We could actually have them look at North Shore Road too. And there's several trees in the Shorewood Hills area that are dead, and we can have them look at that bridle path site. I'm suggesting that we do some not to exceed number, and I'm gonna rewrite that, the directions that I give them. Because
could
I
treat
want
it?
them to make sure that they treat them with herbicide. I don't know how effective that is in the winter months.
The only time we do not have very good luck is when the sap is running really heavily in the
In
spring.
the early spring,
It's
yeah.
really surprising that you can actually treat a tree in February and it kills it. But there's a lot of trees, there's a couple places in Hope Lake Road.
Yeah.
There's some on Britsky Road, a small underbrush stuff.
We could be brushing in this township for the rest of our lives too. All right, let's, we don't really need to put this out to bid.
No,
Let's approve an expenditure dollar and get those guys moving. We're talking about like $250
Like
an
an hour?
hour
Yeah.
for that
I'm
3 or
still
4 man crew.
just doing. Sarah, do you have the on your computer when we were going through the highway budget and we were accepting the bids and when we were subtracting it out?
Yeah, but I've updated it since then.
Because it just seems like $102,000 is an awful lot, because we can figure 30 to 35,000 we'd set aside for before the end of the year snow plowing.
Snow plowing.
So, but that's still gonna give us, 60,000+.
65 is what I came up with.
Yep.
So this doesn't have the 435,000 in and out. It's got it coming there, but then we could just add it in here. That gives you 54,585. But this is not gonna be right because this isn't up to date anymore either. This is. That would have been as of what, July?
Hmm.
And I wasn't at that last meeting you guys had either, so. This would be. Yeah, it's all intermingled in here now, so I don't even know how to pull that out. I know, I was surprised too. Part of it though, I think, is because we carried over so much from 2014.
Yes.
25, that's 25,000. We've got 12,000 sitting at the at Jefferson County, so you can't touch that.
Right.
And snow removal, we didn't have much this year. That's 35,000 that we saved in snow removal. Which we wouldn't have been looking at in here. Oh yeah, I guess we were, 193.
Man, it's wonderful
So-
to have an accountant and on
I know,
staff.
yeah. So, if you use the 54,000 left, and if you took 35 out of it for snow removal, the salt, there hasn't been any salt bills come through yet, right?
Already reserved.
We only had 2 last year.
Yeah.
You can't
Oh.
really
He's
use
already
that
got it
though,
reserved.
Dave, because this
I
number
think
is
it's
not.
snow fencing, which is
right
what,
Oh, okay. It seems to me, Sarah, the only reason I'm questioning, I thought we were like 26 or 28,000 left, and we stopped right there because we wanted to see how the bids were gonna work out, and then we're gonna look at, then maybe doing some more brushing. That just seems like an awful lot.
I
but
know, I agree.
What do you think, Hope?
Well, I think this.
$15,000 or $20,000?
No,
Are you thinking maybe Newville was why?
No.
That was 26,000 we were thinking about, didn't do.
look at here. From the tree trimming that we've done in the past, we've had a $2,300 bill and a $2,900 bill.
Yep. So it's 5,
So
it's
that's, I think
8.
we should give
So
them,
it's $6,000 roughly.
give them, we can go up to $5,000 without a bid.
Mhm.
So I think we should give them 4,050 to do it and try to get as much done as we can. I'll have to ride their rears to find out what they're doing.
talking 4,500,
Yep.
so not to exceed like 18 hours of work. That's a lot.
There's a lot of brush out there on London Road.
So that'd be, that's 2 full days. Okay, that's fine.
Either
Would you
that
give
or
them a
we,
dollar amount or give them an hour?
well, they've already given us, and we already have an agreement with them at $250. That agreement that we have is also an agreement that they would stick with if we ever had a storm and we needed to work ahead. County hasn't urged us to do that, so. I don't know, what do you think?
I'm fine with $4,500 this month, $4,500
Yeah,
next month.
there, okay, that's what I was gonna say, we can always go back at it in December. If we're gonna have this really mild winter, we can be brushing
Oh
all
yeah, there's no
winter.
snowbanks to fight.
All right,
We need to keep up with it. I think what we've done so far has really helped because the emergency calls have been less,
yes,
so I don't have a problem. You're gonna have Crisens do it?
Yes. Does that work for you?
Yep, it's fine.
All right, then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve highway brushing from Crisens for not to exceed $4,500.
And a second.
I'll second.
Now, is there any more discussion?
Does that include that pothole on Highland Road?
No, because they
No,
wouldn't be doing
because you'll
that.
have
Right.
bedrock.
We'll have
too.
some
Yeah.
other,
Bedrock?
we'll have some other
You
expenses.
just have Jay do it,
Yeah,
right? He's
yeah.
running around with his
Yeah.
dump truck anyway.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some snow fence coming out of there too, and
Lee was saying
expensive.
too, up on Sunset Court, there's some surface of the road that's starting to tear up. I don't know if we just have them throw some cold patch in it.
okay, let me look at
There's like,
So
some.
you-
yeah, it said 6 little potholes up down Sunset Court.
You know, sometimes, because they're only like just that inch.
Right, they're inch and
It's
a half,
probably
2 inch deep.
the top coat is one through.
We got a place like that in the Course Highlands too, where the road is alligatored right up to nothing. Lee, would you do me a favor before we get off this subject? Your list,
Yeah,
put your list, type it up, put it on a,
yeah.
just
just
type
in
it up
Word.
for me, and then
Yeah,
I got lists up the kazoo on my computer, and that's kind of how I do it. I coordinate it. You came on just a little too late for the fun this last spring, so we'll be visiting those lists again. We have a motion on the floor to expend $4,500 on brushing this fall. Is there any other discussion?
The other thing is,
knew he was gonna say
then you're gonna request the herbicide, correct?
Yes,
This
I'm
time?
gonna write a little contract or
Okay.
something with
Alright.
them, okay? So all in favor of this expenditure, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Thanks. We'll see how things shake out, and we'll look at it again in December. Thank you, Sarah, for all the details. And if you guys see something else, just send me an email and I'll make it happen. C, update on the Gray Horse home sites, outlots 1, 2, and 3. Just as a little update to the public, we discovered in the process of looking at the engineering for the Shorewood Hills 3 subdivision that there were 3 outlots that the Gray Horse people were still paying taxes on, and they thought they had been dedicated to the public. And so what we did was a little detective work and did indeed find out that the 3 outlots, 1 and 3, are grassy areas on Bridle Path, and 2 is the outlot that is the dry pond between Woodfield Lane and Bridle Path, that these indeed have been dedicated to the public. What we need to do now is sort this out with the county. Been back and forth with land information, and I still need to go and find out how actually we get these tax bills pulled. We indeed own all 3 lots, and I think what I would like to do is that the town will hold the ownership of all 3. We will accept the responsibility of maintenance on 2, which is the dry pond, and we would like to create an agreement with the Rock Lake Homeowners Association for the maintenance on 1 and 3. So we're going to be drafting that maintenance agreement and bringing that back in December,
Okay.
if they will accept it. If they won't, then we'll have to add those to our brushing and mowing lists and maintain those ourselves. I still have to get the tax part of it straightened out.
Guess the grass will probably be a little longer then.
What's nice is right now all the homeowners are taking care of it, so
yeah.
the adjoining property owners.
What do we need to do to the dry pond? Do we need to get in there and have somebody brush that out? to
Yes, we
Bring
do.
it up to to code where
We
it's
need
supposed to be?
to take a look at it. I think we should do that in the spring. I think that's an early spring thing. We should take a
Okay.
look at it. Maybe you guys want to take some time and do that on your own. Just park the car on Woodfield Lane and walk in. There's kind of a gravel path there that goes past the sewer lift station. Take a look at it. I actually would like to work with Land Conservation and see what their recommendations are for it.
Yep.
But I believe
Yep.
that it will need to be brushed and for sure herbicide use so that those little ratty trees don't come back.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't think that it really needs any maintenance. We can look at the structures, of the water inlet structures, and the water basically perks down. There is no outlet structure, and so we can look at those things and see if they need any maintenance. But I think the earliest we would probably do that is very early spring. Mostly box elder growing in there.
Yeah. And we want to get them when they're little, not big.
Yeah. And it has been 15 years, and it's...
Yeah, as you say, it's been quite a while.
So that's kind of the update there. I don't think we're gonna be making any decisions about that tonight, but that's kind of where that hanging thread hangs.
And it could be hope on that too, is once it's all brushed out, that, we would mow that at least once a year.
Yep. I think it's definitely, now that we know it exists and it's our responsibility, we need to be looking at it. Anybody else got any questions or want to kick the can? Item D, an update on the dispute with the drainage board, drainage board number 15. You guys have the correspondence from our attorney Leverton. His suggestion is that we invite the drainage board to come to one of our meetings and we discuss this. How do you feel about doing that in December? Doesn't that sound like fun?
It's gonna be a real Christmas party.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I think that's what we're gonna do. I will communicate that to Mr. Leverton, and you and I will add that to the agenda. And I guess we have our bridge inspection reports and some photos. I know Lee has some photos, so we'll go from there and try to come to an agreement with the drainage board. And if they won't come to us, I guess we'll have to go to them. And if this doesn't get resolved in December, it can certainly get worked out over the course of the winter months.
What is the dispute about?
The dispute is, we have a beautiful bridge on Britsky Road between Britsky Road and Hope Lake Road. No, London Road and Hope Lake Road. And
134.
below it, yes, it's just about a quarter of a mile off 134. Below the bridge, there are some rocks that have gotten either moved from the abutment of the bridge or are naturally occurring. The drainage board is saying that the rocks are impounding water. We've been down to the bottom of the ditch several times. We don't feel that the rocks are impounding water, and they are asserting themselves that because the rocks are in the town's right-of-way, that we are responsible for them.
Well, what's the drainage board?
The drainage boards
Yeah, it's a
are
county board, yeah.
a county board. All the county areas are divided up into drainage areas. It's kind of an ancient management tool for wetlands. And we just have this ongoing hassle with them about it. First of all, I don't know how we'd get down there to fix it. They did go to the extent of getting 3 or 4 bids for us, and we, by statute, feel that we don't have responsibility for it and that it is not impounding water. The Koshkonong Creek flows underneath that bridge and it moves pretty swiftly. It's not like it's a dam or anything like that. So that's our issue with them.
The other thing with the drainage board, every farmer in the district, and there's many districts, you have 15 A, B, C, D. Every farmer that has benefit acres pays assessment for maintaining downstream drainage. So being assessed and in the drainage district, everybody in that district has to pay, so. I don't think just because it's a road right away, we don't feel that it's our responsibility to have to cover that cost.
And we have been quite stubborn about it, and they have said that.
I appreciate that.
Item E, update on Shorewood Hills Road, Shorewood North Phase 3 development. Yeah, I was, after, lots of emails. You want to read that email?
I don't have exact word for word, but the gist of it from Jason was, as of November 2nd, the project is on hold and will not continue this fall without major changes. Meaning,
I think he's withdrawn his offer to purchase is basically what it's come down to. And we still have some details like we were talking about with the outlots to deal with. I'm sort of glad that this has come to fruition with the outlots, because I think that if not Mr. Forrest, some other developer is going to come in and those lots are going to look attractive to him. So I'm kind of glad we had this housekeeping time. As far as the dry pond, the wet pond, the engineering, the legal fees that have incurred, those things we will be receiving bills on, and we'll be billing those back to Mr. Forrest when we receive those bills. As far as the rest of it, I guess it's let a sleeping dog lie. Anybody have anything else?
Kind of about it.
Okay. Item 10, new business. A discussion and decision on approving the 2016 town budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2016 town budget.
And I'll second that. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the town budget for 2016, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. So we agree with the electorate, that's important. B, board expense sheet approval. I just have my expenses from the convention. I just had a great time. I was overnight in the Dells. I attended almost all the meetings, talked to lots of other people. I was kind of surprised there weren't very many people from Jefferson there, from Jefferson County. But it was a very interesting time, and I thank you for allowing me to go. It was like a big, long hike, because everything in Kalahari is spread out so far. I was in a lot better shape when I got
All
home.
the water slides?
Well, I was kind of wondering about the 80-minute massage. What's the deal?
80? I had to go for the 90, man.
yeah, why stop at 80?
I didn't put that on my expense sheet. I didn't have time. Thank you, you guys. Okay, item 11, correspondence.
Okay. We have a letter from Dorothy and
Sorry.
some of the residents on Stony Creek Road. It's to whom it may concern, we the undersigned respectfully request that the town of Lake Mills consider lowering the speed limit on a section of Stony Creek Road. We would ask that the town reduce the speed limit or place advisory speed limits on the curvy section of the road from the bridge to the road's end. This section of road includes 2 blind curves of particular concern. The present posted speed limit is 45 miles per hour. We trust that there are experts in the field who could recommend a safe speed for this section of road. We make this request due to the fact that there are numerous homes on this section of the road and that at least 4 of these homes are occupied by families with young children. Sincerely, Dorothy Donnelly. And 2, 3, 4 neighbors.
Okay.
I don't know what the procedure is to go about that. I know we have an ordinance that lists the names of the streets and their speed limits. Is it a simple ordinance change or not?
No, it's not that simple. One, all non-posted or township roads are automatically 55 miles an hour. We are allowed to lower that speed limit 10 miles an hour just by a motion.
Okay.
Any lower than that 10 miles an hour, then a DOT speed study or vehicle study has to be done, or a vehicle count. And then they take into account what the traffic is, and then they give their recommendation if you can lower it anymore. So that's what I know about it. What do you know about it?
I
Now,
don't-
the suggested the speed, we may, because you do that with a yellow sign,
Right, that's speed advisory.
yeah, that could be an avenue one could do.
Or slow down at the curve kind of sign?
Yeah,
Or
so
something?
what do you know?
I know what Matt told me.
Yeah, it is a process, you are correct. You just can't, you lower the 10, but after that, it's a process.
Yeah.
It isn't that you just.
Go do it.
No. Correct.
If I did
Sure.
some research online, and it seems that with the speed advisory, so that would be the curve with the small sign underneath is an advisory. They're not an enforceable limit, correct?
That's correct.
But you can do those without the study.
Correct.
So that's why I left it up to you, either one or the other, we would appreciate.
Sure, yeah, and I know the area you're talking about. You can get surprised. Maybe
Yeah.
cars come along, especially if they're not on their own side of the road. So that'd be something to look at, as far as.
Families with young children, there might be buses heading out that way.
There are buses on the road as well.
Matt, I noticed in your report, you issued how many citations this month?
50.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of that, Matt, we were harvesting on Highway B, and one of your officers was parked, and when we were servicing equipment, he did not sit there 5 minutes, and he pulled the vehicle over.
Yeah, it's
He
not.
came back and he parked probably about 20 minutes later, I'm assuming when he took care of what he was doing. And I don't think he really totally got backed in there, and he was going back out.
Correct.
So it's a good spot. I mean, there's revenue to be made there.
Where was that again?
On Highway B, yeah. Right after you come down a great big hill.
Yeah, that's great, yeah.
They're just everywhere.
And it really was like 9:15 in the morning.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like heavy work traffic. So I was really surprised. But.
yeah.
Anyway,
What's that?
We're on B's then?
It's the west stretch of B. The whole stretch.
We're not really going to tell
They're
you.
not going to tell you that.
I have seen people on that stretch, so they're looking.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
It
I
really
watched
is.
somebody-
We're very active out there, and I don't know how to.
So it's 55, but they're
It's
going.
It's 55. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just make a comment that, my son here was riding his bike on North Shore, going towards Rock Lake Road, going around that curve. And he said the school bus came from the other direction, and he was on, he said, you were on the side of the road that a car would have been. So he was on the right side of the road, and the school bus came around the corner on the left side of the road, but it was so close to him, he said he could have put his arm out and touched the school bus. They like totally went into the other lane, like when they were taking that curve. So,
and that's, you mentioned before that you would like a speed or some sort of advisory out there as well.
yeah.
I think there already is one, but it's,
On that curve there is, yeah,
there isn't.
but not like down the other curve.
Something we should look at.
So what about your experience here on either of these two roads?
On North Shore, I guess I didn't know we were having a problem out there. I mean, I can also, you having speeders out there, or is it more just around a curve?
I've seen a lot of like pickup trucks come booking through there pretty good.
Okay, 'cause that's 45 around that area.
45?
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
North
what
Shore
it
is 45 miles.
I think it's 35 through
That stretch.
like where the houses are.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I worry every time he's out on his bike, because
Because it's narrow.
like that curve when you're going towards Woodland, on the other end of where the houses are, there's no warning or anything on that curve. And I could just see somebody booking around there, and him on his bike or us walking or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know we're having any speed bump. You're the first ones I've heard of any complaints through the county or here.
Yeah, well, I was talking to my neighbor Bruce Taylor, and he kind of agreed too. So,
What about Stony Creek, Matt?
We have not had. We've run a radar in Stony Creek. And I've had a squad out there multiple times, and we have not had one stop.
Yep.
And that's also, the county also has been out there. We had an extra patrol out there for the sheriff's department. And,
It's just, it's not that people are speeding on that
Okay.
section, it's just that 45 miles an hour on those blind curves
okay,
is a high rate of speed for anybody. Nobody feels comfortable going that speed on those corners. And we do have delivery trucks and different vehicles that aren't part of the road that come up and down the
Sure.
road. So we're just hoping that we can, because if they're, those are the, on the curves where there are homes with small kids.
you're more concerned about the curves and the people how
We're-
they're going into the curves.
We're concerned about the speed on the curves.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it's a big blind curve. Well,
Right.
it's not two, it's like one gigantic
Yeah.
blind curve. You can't see around it at all.
Okay,
I agree with that.
well, we can take a look at that.
Yeah.
We're talking about, speed advisory signs, and we're talking about reducing the speed from 45 to 35, correct?
But we can't do that without a speed study.
You can't take it down?
We've already taken it down 10 miles an hour.
Okay. Oh, I guess I didn't understand that. And, if we put those speed advisory signs up, they would be illegal?
No, they would not be illegal because they are advisory.
They're not
They're not
enforceable.
limits.
Yeah, I can't enforce them. No, it's just a kind of a warning sign is what it is.
And would that be what we would do, is take it from 45 to 35 in an advisory mode?
Yeah, but somewhere's around there. I
All right.
suppose.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
From the research that I did, it said that if you put 30, say 30, then people will go 35. They're going to go about 5 miles above an
Yeah, I'd
advisory.
agree.
So a 30 mile an hour would be a better advisory than 35, because 35 is not going to do much for us. So if we put a 30 advisory, then
All right.
it'll be better.
Are you willing to look at that with me someday and point those signposts out that you're talking about?
Sure, I mean, the curves there.
There are existing signs though.
There are curve sign, there are
Right.
curve signal, designations
Sure.
that it's a curve, but there's no decrease in the speed limit. There's no advisory there on those curves.
There could be an advisory sign put right below it then.
Right. Okay, well, we'll take a look at it. We can bring that back since we have just all this cash in our transportation budget, so.
Be
Bring that
careful.
back, bring that back and,
Start loading too much.
Yeah.
Thought we were gonna get our taxes lowered.
wrong again.
We just weren't gonna take them up as much as we. I better quit.
You better quit right
Like
now.
you said, everybody wants an increase every year.
Yeah, it's, every time we go to, whether it's a fire commission meeting or anything, everybody, we're gonna have to raise it 7%. We gotta raise it 4%. It's like, well, we can't. We're under a cap.
I know you got more
I
correspondence.
have a few more things.
Thank you guys for your comments though.
Enbridge Energy sent a flyer advertising themselves.
You're working us pretty hard.
We have a highway safety, a few different highway safety.
I got that in the mail today.
Workshop.
I haven't gone with Chris and I
Workshops,
haven't really,
thank
my mail
Hey,
pile's
guys.
going this high, so.
Thank you for coming, you guys.
Another seminar on legal ethics of email, if you're interested in that. Baxter and Woodman sent their monthly newsletter, maybe it's quarterly, monthly. ATC sent a summary report for the year. And then the Dane County Planning and Development sent their due diligence letter. They are having a public hearing on November 24th, if anybody is interested in that. They're still amending the comprehensive plan. And then this one was kind of interesting. So the Jefferson County Zoning Department sent out a feeler. They want to know if we would be interested in Plan Commission training. Apparently this is a similar workshop that was done earlier this year up in River Falls. And if there is enough interest, they would do one locally here. So, it's a what one-day workshop? No, it's not even a whole day. Yeah. 6 p.m. to
there's
8:30
nothing
p.m. That
close.
doesn't sound.
Oh, they did it in the
No,
evening
it's just
too.
an evening.
Green Bay.
Well, let's pass this on to the planning commission representative.
That works.
You can kind of talk that over. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
Oh,
Need
sorry.
to get one closer. No, too far away.
Yeah, really. Oh, Conomowoc not too bad.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's only, what, half hour, I guess.
Item number 12, meeting schedule. December 1st is the planning commission meeting at 8. December 1st is also the Joint Rock Lake Committee at 6 PM. And December 8th at 8 PM is our regular town board meeting.
Yeah, what was the rest of that?
What's all this?
What's wrong?
That's from last
Oh,
month.
okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's very good. Item 13 is the adjournment,
I will make a motion to adjourn.
and I'll second it. Meeting is adjourned.